Hey everybody, this is Roy Cannaday, and today I'm taking a look at the Venom Hero Pack, or maybe Agent Venom Hero Pack for Marvel Champions. Let's get into it. Alright, let's take a look at the Venom expansion pack for the Hero Pack for Marvel Champions here. You start as Flash Thompson with a recovery of 4. You can control 1 additional upgrade that has restricted keywords, so he's good with those weapons that have those restricted keywords. And armed and ready, set up discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a weapon upgrade, and then add that card to your hand. So this is kind of interesting because sometimes you could end up discarding a few cards, sometimes you could end up discarding not many cards at all. So you could discard a bunch, but if you find the correct weapon, it can be really beneficial for you. And Flash Thompson's all about those weapons, so that helps a ton. So let's see here, Venom side, we have 1 thwart, 2 attack, and 2 defense. So pretty standard, pretty low thwart there. But you can still control 1 additional upgrade because you need that on both sides to be able to keep your upgrades. And then Symbiotic Bond, I love this here. Resource, take 1 damage, generate a wild resource, limit once per phase. So you're going to be hurting yourself, but you're going to be getting that wild resource each turn. You do have 12 hit points at the start of the game, but you're going to be utilizing your own hit points to be able to get cards into play more easily. I love this. I love being able to play expensive cards, and having a wild resource each turn that doesn't count against your hand size is pretty awesome. If we notice here, he has a hand size of 5 in hero mode and 6, pretty standard there for most characters, and that 12 hit points. Let's take a look here at some of his cards. So multi-gun, I love this. This is a 3-cost upgrade, and is unique. It is restricted. Speaking of the restricted, you can have extra restricted stuff out there. Hero action, exhaust multi-gun. Choose one of the following. You can either deal 2 damage to an enemy. You can choose and deal 1 damage to each minion engaged with that player. And then you can remove 2 threat from a scheme. So he can use his gun to even help him get rid of the threat, which is pretty awesome. Very versatile weapon here. And basically, once you get this out, you can basically exhaust this every turn to be able to deal that 2 damage or remove that 2 threat or ping the minions. Then Venom's Pistol is another great one here. This is a 1-cost upgrade, pretty cheap. It is restricted, of course, max 2 restricted cards in play, max 3 with Venom, of course. And then Hero Interrupt, when you use one of Venom's basic powers, exhaust the pistol, and he gains +1 to that power's use. So that means he can now attack for 2, or thwart, or attack for 3, or thwart for 2, or defend for 3. So this helps him be more versatile there with the Venom's Pistol. We have a second Venom's Pistol. That's awesome. So getting both these out will definitely help you be able to utilize his abilities and use his basic powers there a little bit more. Spider Sense. This is another upgrade. When the villain initiates an attack against you, draw a card. Awesome. Makes you a little bit like Spider-Man there. That's basically Spider-Man's basic ability. Then Project Rebirth 2.0. I didn't see the 1.0, but support here. It is a 1-cost support. Alter Ego action, so you have to be in Flash Thompson mode to use this. Exhaust Project Rebirth. Choose either to draw 1 card or heal 3 damage from Flash Thompson. I love anything that lets you draw cards, because of course having more cards means you can play more cards. And healing 3 damage seems awesome. This is just a great card, and the fact that it only costs 1. People have really cool supports. This one is no different. This is a 0-cost event, locked and loaded. Search your deck for a weapon upgrade and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's going to help you go grab that minigun or help you find the pistols that you're currently missing. You kind of had this loadout of getting both Venom's pistols out and the multi-gun and being able to just go ham on the villains and keep the threat down, be able to deal with exactly what you need to, because Venom is very versatile in that way. This helps you get that stuff out. Grasping Tendrils. This is a Hero Interrupt that costs 2 event. It's defense. When the villain initiates an attack against you, cancel that attack. If you paid for this using only the combat fighting resources, you stun the villain. Of course, stunning the villain means he's not going to attack you next time. Or maybe help not attack one of your allies if you're playing in multiplayer. You have 2 of those. Then there's Running Gun. This is a 3-cost event. Ready Venom and each weapon upgrade you control. Just letting you do it all again, because if you have all 3 of your weapons out, you can just really blast the bad guys with that. So that's awesome. You get 3 of those. So you can see these weapons are very important for him to get out and be able to utilize multiple times. Behind Enemy Lines is a 2-cost event. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this card using only science resources, confuse the enemy. So things helping you keep that threat down as you're confusing the enemy. You get a couple of those. Then Savage Attack, this is a 2-cost event. Deal 5 damage to the enemy. If you pay for this card using only electric resources, this attack gains overkill. You notice a lot of these are saying you need to use only a certain type, which becomes a lot easier when you get a wild resource, because of course the wild resource can be used for any of these types to help you fulfill these cards. And the fact that they only cost 2 means you just need one of those, then you could use your wild resource and you're going to be able to trigger these cool events. And being able to do extra damage and gaining overkill with it is always awesome. Cool, let's take a look at a few of the Justice cards. He is a Justice hero, so let's see what comes in here. So Jack Flag, it costs 4, so pretty expensive. 2 thwart and 1 attack, still seems really expensive. 3 hit points. Cool, he's not that beefy, but response, after he thwarts, place 1 ammo counter on him. Cool, so you can ammo up as that happens. You can exhaust him, remove 1 ammo counter from him, and deal 2 damage to an enemy. So as he removes threat, he'll also be able to do a little bit of damage here and there. And when he does that damage with those ammo counters, it's not going to actually hurt him. So that's pretty awesome. So every other turn, he can be like thwarting 1 turn and then doing his extra damage the other turn. And then thwarting another turn and doing the extra damage. Overall, he's going to deal, like, he could do 4, get rid of 4 threat, and end up doing, like, I don't know. He could actually get rid of like 3 threat if you end up killing him off. He could do a bunch of damage just for the 4 that you're paying for him. This is a 3-cost upgrade, Sonic Rifle, restricted. So this is another restricted card, so you can only have 3 of those out with Venom. And it uses 2 charge counters, exhaust Sonic Rifle, and remove 1 charge counter from it. Confuse the enemy. Deal 3 damage to the enemy if it's already confused. So this is a weapon that can help you keep that threat way down as you're confusing him whenever people are in alter ego modes. That's awesome. So you get 3 of those, then make an interest, a 1-cost event. This, when your hero makes a basic thwart, it gets +2 thwart for that thwart. And then after the thwart ends, if your hero removed all the threat from the scheme, you heal 2 damage from your hero. So if you're able to keep that thwart down, you're going to be able to heal your hero up. That's awesome. Then Scare Tactic here. This is a 1-cost event. Deal 3 damage and confuse enemy, or to a confused enemy. So this isn't going to do anything if they're not confused, but you do have that Sonic Rifle, which is going to help you keep those guys confused. So it's all about keeping that threat down and slowly dealing that damage to the enemy here and there. And of course, Power of Justice, you've seen a ton of times. Then we have the Star-Lord. Who? It is a 2-cost ally. 2 thwart, 2 attack with a little asterisk there. When Star-Lord attacks, it gains ranged, which means he's not going to have to worry about retaliate. Then after Star-Lord enters play under your control, deal yourself 1 face-down encounter card. So he has really good stats for the cost of 2, but he's going to give you a face-down encounter card, which very much fits the Star-Lord hero deck that you can play in this game as well. Then we have a Plasma Pistol. This is another weapon here, a 2-cost upgrade. Venom's all about those guns. You can exhaust Plasma Pistol. It comes with 3 charges. You can exhaust Plasma Pistol and remove 1 charge counter from it to deal 1 damage to an enemy. So just another way to ping for a little bit of damage there. And if you're able to unexhaust stuff and use it again, you can bust through those real quick. Then we have a upgrade holster. Play under 1 player's control. You control 1 additional weapon upgrade that has a restricted keyword. So you can have even more weapons out. You can already have 3 weapons out. This would allow you to have 4 weapons out, but you have even more of them. So you could have a whole pile of guns at Venom's disposal there. Then Resourcefulness is another upgrade. Discard it to generate a wild resource, once again helping you utilize your things that need specific types. And it's a wild resource itself, so you can kind of bank this card on a future turn if you need to do that as well. So you get 3 of those, and then of course the normal strength, Genius, and Energy. So I normally don't talk too much about the bad guy cards that come in a deck. I do want to show these off here though, because Venom is slightly different. I don't have the cards with me, but I'll show a little thing on the screen. So Venom's nemesis is just a whole bunch of other Venoms that you end up having to fight against, and a bunch of these come into play whenever the Shadows of the Past comes out. So it's kind of interesting when that happens, and you have all these Venoms that you're having to try to blast away. Okay, let's take a look at the other cards that come in the deck here. There is a card that if you wanted to play him as aggression, this is a 2-cost event, hero action, exhaust a weapon upgrade you control, and deal 5 damage to an enemy. So people that utilize weapons, this will be super good because you can just straight up deal 5 damage to somebody by exhausting that weapon. Then Welcome Aboard. This is a 0-cost event. You can only play it if you have Guardians trait, max 1 per round. Reduce the resource cost of the next ally played by 2. So this will help you play out those Guardians allies. Pretty awesome. Then Shake It Off. This is a 1-cost event. After a Guardian character takes any amount of damage from an attack, give that character a tough status card. So you're going to be able to get tough status cards if you have been hit. Then Crew Quarters. This is a play only if a player... play under a player's control, max of 1 per player. Exhaust Crew Quarters. Heal 1 damage from an alter ego. So this means each time you flip down, you can exhaust Crew Quarters, and you'll be able to heal 1. So that's a pretty cheap support there that can help you just do a little bit of teeny bit of healing there. So that is what comes in the Venom deck for Marvel Champions. Let's see my thoughts. So I really enjoyed the Venom Marvel Champions pack. There's a ton of really good cards in here, and I love the way that he plays. The fact that he can hurt himself to get wild resources is definitely extremely enjoyable, especially since I'm a guy who likes to get a bunch of cards out on the table and things that stick. And Venom very much plays that way, where you're kind of like getting out your different guns and kind of building up your character as the game goes along. And it feels very interesting the way that they've kind of done this together, as you have different weapons that can do damage. I feel like he's really good at like all-around sort of character. I really enjoy a lot of the cards that come in the deck, and the way it kind of like feels like you're this agent guy blasting guys around. I know he's part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't know as much about Agent Venom as far as like the comics and storyline and things like that go, but I really enjoy the way this deck plays nonetheless. I found it very enjoyable setting up all of your different weapons, putting all that different stuff out, and it kind of combos together with some of the other Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, which gives you a lot more of that Guardians of the Galaxy feel. There's a lot of cool cards in here which are fun to play with and exciting to play. I really enjoyed this one. This is really high up on my list of games. I really also enjoy the fact that his nemesis there, I normally don't talk about the nemesis too much and stuff like that, but the fact that it's just a whole bunch of different Venoms that you have to face off, it is terrifying when it comes out, when you have that Shadows of the Past pop up and you just have a onslaught of symbiotes fighting you. It's kind of crazy to deal with all of that, but it adds that theme and flair to the game, which just continues to surprise me for Marvel Champions, how the designers are able to take a deck of cards and make it feel like interesting choices and the characters, and it gives you a little bit of that theme just with solid mechanics. But yeah, I definitely enjoy Venom a ton. This is going to get an excellent from me. Definitely one you should check out if you enjoy the Marvel Champions deck building game, or cooperative game, you know. Anyway, I love it. Check it out. Marvel Champions is awesome. Let's play sometime. Who's your favorite hero for Marvel Champions? Make sure to leave it in the comments down below. And I'm excited to get to even more of the newer characters here super soon. Thanks for joining me on this. I've been Roy Cannaday. I'll see you on the next one.